Hello, this is a brief video showing how to update the firmware for 1 series pedals from Source Audio. I have here the Vertigo Tremolo, which is one of the pedals in the 1 series. There's also the Mercury Flanger, Lunar Phaser, Gemini Chorus, Nemesis Delay, and others. So the first step for upgrading the firmware to the latest version is to plug in the power. Very simple. So here's the power supply that came with the Vertigo. Plug it in, the LED should come on, and you can use the foot switch to turn it on and off and just make sure that it is indeed powered. So that looks good. The next step is to connect it to your computer using a USB cable. So this is a mini USB 2.0 cable, and I will plug that into the USB port on the Vertigo. Now, if this is the first time connecting the Vertigo to your computer, you will see basically a little notification should pop up, and that explains to you that the computer is installing the drivers. So the 1 series pedals use class compliant drivers. That means you don't have to get any special drivers. They're actually built into the operating system. So nothing special is required there. They should install automatically. It might take a minute or two, but you should be able to see the window that pops up, or sometimes the notification will pop up down here. If you can see at the bottom right of my screen here, somewhere in the notifications section, you might just see something like installing new hardware or something along those lines. And you should get a notification when it's done. So when that is finished up, the next step is to download the firmware. So I have here my web browser, and we'll just go to the Source Audio website, top level, www.sourceaudio.net. Then we'll go to the Support tab and Downloads. Click on Downloads. That takes you to the Downloads page. And under Software, you will see 1 series updater application. And so I'm using Windows here, so I will download the Windows installer by clicking on it. And I have a couple options here. What you want to do is save it to your computer. I generally like to save it to my desktop. So this is a zip file, so we actually have 2 steps here. We have to download the file and then extract the files out of it, rather. So I'm going to download it to my desktop. You might see something that looks a little bit different than this depending on what browser you use, but hopefully you know how to download a file. Okay, so there it is. My download is complete, and I'm actually going to turn off my camera just so you can see all of my desktop for a moment. Oops. There we go. Okay, so here's the file up here in the upper left that we just downloaded. Now, like I said, it is a zip file, so you need to extract it to get at the files that are inside of it. So the updater and the related files that we need are inside of this zip file. So right-click on it, and you should see an option, Extract All, that's kind of built into Windows. And I'm just going to minimize my browser here so we can see this a little bit better. Okay, so when you click Extract All, it'll ask you to select a spot to extract the files to. You can just choose the default option, which will put it in a new folder on your desktop. So do that, extract, and oh, it opened it for me automatically. But there's the folder that it created. Okay, so here's the original zip file. This is the folder that it created, and it's showing me the contents of that folder that it created now. Okay, good. So this is very important. You need to run the 1 series updater from the extracted folder. Okay, if you try to open the zip file directly, it's a little bit confusing because it looks the same, right? But this is, you can see here, we're inside the zip file, and so if you try to run, it's not really going to work, right? Because some of the files that it needs to work are also in the zip file. Cancel that. So we need to extract it like we did to this separate folder. Okay, so we're going to run 1 series updater, and here it is. This is what it looks like. So it's showing me here this green box, connected Vertigo Tremolo 1.07. So that shows that my computer recognizes that the Vertigo has been connected via USB. It sees it. Okay. If your computer doesn't see the pedal, like I'll just disconnect the USB cable here. Okay, and when I disconnected the USB cable, the box changed. Up here it says device not connected now. So if you only see device not connected there, and even plugging in the pedal, you don't see the green connected box, that means something went wrong in the driver phase. So let us know. Okay, so assuming that works, this is really easy. You just click the check for updates button, and assuming your firmware is out of date, it will basically automatically grab the latest firmware and download it for you. Now, when I try to do this, I get this message, update not needed. And it turns out that my Vertigo is actually already up to date. But just for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to manually perform an upgrade. So an update, sorry. So bring my camera back up on screen there. And I will click the manually select file and update button. And then the software asks me to select the appropriate file. So you just pick the file with the correct name. In this case, I'm using the Vertigo, but you might have a different pedal. And then click the open button. So you can see down here on the pedal, the LED up here went green, and it's lit, starting to blink maybe a little bit. And then on the program, you have a progress bar. It says downloading program. The green bar is filling up. So that's the first step. And when that completes, it will go on to the second step, which is downloading the firmware. And in this phase, the LED on the Vertigo turns red, and we'll see that progress bar go up. And when that progress bar gets to the end, the Vertigo resets. You should hear the relays click, and then you'll get a message saying that your update was complete. Please power down the pedal, wait for 10 seconds, and power it back on. So I'll do that. I'll unplug my USB cable, and then I'll disconnect the power, and I will wait a little bit. Probably don't have to wait a full 10 seconds, but waiting a couple seconds is good. Okay, now I'm done with that, so I'll plug back in the power. And just to check and make sure that everything's okay, I'll plug in USB again. And when I do that, I can see here on the screen, connected, Vertigo Tremolo 1.07. So everything appears to have worked correctly. And my Vertigo is now up to date. So hopefully that helps. Thank you very much.